Hi, Kulwant. In this class, first of all, we will check how to migrate any VMs from on-prem to GCP. Basically, we will
Yeah.
lift and shift a VM which is running over the vSphere environment, or we can say that on-prem environment, and we will
Mm-hmm.
lift and shift that particular VM to Google Cloud Platform.
Okay.
And we can perform this practical with the help of Migrate for Compute Engine API.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Uh, yeah. Do you have any question?
yeah. So, I was just reading about it. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, we have four migrate for compute engine
Y-
4x,
Your
which
sound got
we
break.
use for
Can you pardon,
AWS
please?
and Azure. And yeah, so I was just saying that I was just reading about it. So we have migrate for compute engine 4x, which we use for Azure and AWS, while we work on 5x for vSphere. So is that correct?
Can you little bit explain about the 4x or 5x? What is
Yeah,
that?
these are the versions that I was reading about. Like there is this version of Migrate for Compute Engine 4x, which we use for migrating from AWS and Azure to GCP. While there is a version 5x which is available for migrating from on-prem, because there seems to be slight difference in how we migrate from AWS to to GCP, and while we just migrate from on-prem to AWS, I think we use connectors in this.
Yeah, we use connectors, and right now you can see that we will use the version
Okay,
5.0 for
5.
migrating the VMs from on-prem to GCP. And another thing is that this version
Mm-hmm.
is updated on the timely basis by the Google.
Okay, okay.
Okay, and always we have to prefer the latest version for performing the activity,
Mm-hmm.
because in the latest version we have a bug
Mm-hmm.
fix available. Also, we have a new features
Okay,
available.
great.
Okay,
Okay,
and
yeah,
we can use this
yeah.
version for migrating the VM from on-prem or from another cloud to GCP.
Okay, so the same version can be used for, like, in either of the
Yeah,
cases. We can
and
use it
we
on.
have to
Yeah.
use the latest version only for performing these types of activity.
Okay, okay.
Okay, here
Yeah.
on the left hand side, we have a vSphere environment. Over there, the on-prem VMs will be available, which we have to connect
Mm-hmm.
those VMs with the help of vCenter server. Okay, and
Okay.
we have to create one migrate connector over the VM environment, and that particular
Mm-hmm.
migrate connector will perform the action from the VMware side, and we have to use the migrate for compute engine API over the GCP for performing the migration via graphical.
Okay.
Okay, and
Yeah.
migrate for connector is just like a VM instance, which we have to create over the VMware side, which will act as a connector between GCP and vSphere environment.
Okay, so it's a new virtual machine or an instance that we are creating, which will act as an intermediation between the vSphere and the GCP.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Normally,
okay.
we have a multiple types of migrations available in the IT environment, like to physical
Yeah.
migration or physical to virtual migration. We can say that P2P or P2V. After coming the cloud in the picture, uh, another migration also available, which we can in which we can migrate our environment from physical data center to cloud, or from one cloud to another cloud. In physical data center, we have two types of machines available. One is a physical machine, another one is a virtual machine. But right now, we will try to migrate the virtual machines to GCP.
Okay. Yeah. Great. Yeah.
Okay. And over the virtual machines, any type of load can be served. It may be it may be a application server, or it may be a database server.
Okay. And did we have any kind of discovery tool that we had to run before planning this migration? Did we do any kind of recordings regarding what exactly would be the resource requirement on this?
Resource requirement in terms of creating the machines over the GCP side, is it the question?
Yeah, yes, yeah, yeah, yes, correct. That's correct.
These types of things I will cover in this lecture. And apart from this question, do you have any question? Please let me know.
No, nothing. We can proceed. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Over the GCP side, at the time of creating the migration, Migrate for Compute Engine will create one host project. Okay.
Okay.
Under that
Mm-hmm.
particular host project, it will create these types of four things. And everything
Okay.
will be managed by the GCP. We cannot check where is my host project and what is the name of that particular host project. Okay. And also it will create a target project where we spin up our machines from vSphere to GCP.
Okay.
Okay. And another thing is that yeah, we we can use the public internet or the VPN connection or the private Google access or direct internet connection for performing these types of activity. We require
Okay.
the connectivity from physical data from our on-prem data center to GCP. If we are performing the migration from cloud to cloud, then we have required the connectivity from one cloud to another cloud. Okay,
Okay.
in this
Mm-hmm.
practical, we can use public internet, which
Mm-hmm.
normally we are using in our cell phone or a laptop. Okay, and the VPN.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Also, we can use the private Google access, or we can use the direct interconnect.
Okay.
Whenever we have to migrate the VMs from cloud to cloud, in that particular scenario, in the production environment, we are using the VPN. And whenever requirements come to perform the activity related to migration from on-prem to GCP, that particular time we are using the direct interconnect or a partner interconnect.
Okay.
Okay, but right
Yeah.
now this is our own lab, and we will use public internet for performing these types of activity in this our
Oh,
example. Okay.
okay. So we basically do that with to have a secured connection between the environments when we do it like in the production environment or
You
something.
can use any one of the media, and your data will
Yeah.
transfer from your machine to GCP in a secure way. First of all, it will encrypt the things
Yeah.
and then transfer to GCP. Over there, it will decrypt. But in the
Okay.
production environment, either we have to use the VPN for cloud to cloud or a cloud interconnect
Mm-hmm.
for on-prem to cloud.
Okay.
And remaining documents will be available over the GCP. You can go
Mm-hmm.
through these documents.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. First of all, we have to allow some firewall policies for performing this activity.
Yeah.
So I'm using Cloud Shell. I have to allow some ports for making this activity. Let me do that.
Yeah. So is this Firewall port being open for the cloud for the migration for this migration only itself, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, I'm going to check is it the required API is enabled or not. Uh,
Okay.
we have to use the Compute Engine API.
Compute engine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and over there we have options available. Migrate for Compute
Migrate.
Engine.
Yep.
This API is required for performing the migration activity.
Okay. And
And
I
yeah,
have one question. Will this have the latest API for VM migration available whenever we get to this link?
first of all, if the API is not enabled, then you have to enable the
Hmm.
API. And whatever
Yeah.
latest version will be available that particular time, this API version will use. Okay.
Hmm.
If
Okay.
if there is if you enable, suppose if you enable the API at the version
Hmm.
4.5, and right now
Yeah.
we have a version available 5.0. In that particular
Yeah.
scenario, it will prompt you for upgrading the version to the latest one,
Okay.
and you have to upgrade your version over there.
Okay.
Okay, right now I enable that particular version. Yeah, it's enabled. Let's see what happened over the
Hmm.
Cloud Shell. Firewall is enabled. As I told you that, first of all, we have to create a migrate connector VM over the
Correct. Hmm.
vSphere environment, and that
Yeah.
particular VM will perform the action from the VMware side. Okay, we
Yeah.
we have to migrate the VM from the VMware side, thus we require the admin level access over the vSphere so that
Hmm.
that particular connector will will perform the discovery over the vCenter level and fetch the information that how many VMs are running over there. Okay, and
Yeah.
if required to migrate some of the VMs from the vSphere environment, then this connector
Hmm.
can perform the activity for sync the data or copy the data from vSphere environment to the GCP for creating the new VM.
Okay. So basically, this is going to get installed on the DC, and it's going to replicate the environment from the on-prem to GCP,
Yeah,
if I'm correct. Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
yes. Let's see. This is my Windows jump server, and over the Windows jump server, I access my
Hmm.
vCenter environment. And over there,
Okay.
these are the n number of machines which
Hmm.
are running over there. Okay. First of
Yeah.
all, I will create that particular connector VM. And the information is available there over the documentation. When
Okay.
you see that, this is the OVA file. which we will use
Yeah.
for creating the VM over the vSphere environment. Okay, when you copy the link or
Okay.
when
Yeah.
you click uh, over that particular file, it will download that particular OVA file. Or we can supply the
Yeah.
information directly over the vCenter at the time of performing the activity. Right now, I don't require this file, that's why I'm going to
Okay.
cancel it. Okay,
Okay.
I just copy the link and I will supply over there for creating the VM. We have to click over the
Okay.
DC, and the DC name in my
Yeah.
scenario is lab on-prem. This is my DC name.
On-prem. Yeah. Yeah.
Need to perform the right click over there, and you have to select the
Yeah.
deploy OVF template.
Deploy OVF template. Okay.
Yeah. Over there, you have to supply that particular link.
Okay.
Okay, where is your OVF file is available, and then yeah, okay.
Okay.
Now I'm going to perform that particular. Uh, I'm going to create that particular VM.
Okay.
The machine name will be M4C, Migrate for Compute, and I will use
Okay.
this DC. Maybe in your
Okay.
environment you have a multiple DCs available. You have to
Yeah.
choose the right one.
Okay.
It will uh, it will use the compute resources from the same DC or the resource pool.
So it is automatically going to pick up all the instances that are running on this particular DC,
I will
which
show
are
you.
part of this DC.
I will show you.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, this is the appliance which is created by the Google, and this is
Okay.
the download size. Basically, it's a common information available over there. You have to just click
Okay.
next over there.
Okay.
Here, I'm going to choose the internal management network on which we can control all the environmental VMs or having the access related to all the infra available over the vSphere. That's why I'm
Okay.
choosing the internal management network. Here we have to create one SSH key and we have to
Hmm.
supply the public key information over there and we have to save the private key in our uh, jump server and we
Hmm.
can use that particular key for making authentication between a putty to this VM which we'll create
Okay.
over there. So we have a one tool available over the Windows which is putty keys in.
Yeah.
Okay, I will use that particular
Yeah.
utility for creating the putty. If you are using the Linux VM, then you have to fire the command ssh-keys in.
Okay.
If you are using this utility, it will take time. If you want to make the process faster, then you have to move
Hmm.
your mouse cursor. See that.
Okay.
If I will move the mouse cursor, then it is the process will fast, otherwise it will slow. Okay.
Okay.
Basically, in the background, it was using some dump memory for creating
Okay.
the keys. Okay, that's
Okay.
why it's requires some process
Okay.
for performing this faster.
Okay.
Yeah, my key is created over there.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to save my private key first in
Private key.
my
Save
local
private key.
desktop.
Okay. Okay.
Migrate for compute key.
Yeah.
I will use this now. Also, I have to copy the public key
Yes.
and need to supply the information over the portal. This.
Okay.
Okay. And then we have to click next
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and then
And
finish.
finish. Okay.
Here you can see that migrate for compute shell created. Okay. Now we
Yes.
have to select that particular shell and need to power on the VM.
Okay.
Uh, Need to click over the action and then power.
Power.
After that, power.
Power. Power on. Yeah.
It will take some time because due to the network bandwidth, right now it's
Mm-hmm.
fetching the information from the GCP.
Yeah.
Once it's completed, then we will perform the power on action.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, this particular machine is going to act as a connector, and it is going to run the services for the connector.
Yes,
Right.
this is the
Okay.
appliance
This is
which,
a plan.
yeah, the image is provided by the GCP.
Okay.
Now we can do the power on.
Okay. So basically, it is a Sky appliance like we have in that in this tool called ActiveView. Is it something similar to that?
What is Sky appliance?
It's an appliance that is running on the cloud. Is it?
I'm sorry, your sound got break. Can you pardon, please?
Yeah. So I'm saying that this is the appliance is running on the Google platform as for now.
No, 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 no. This is
It's
this is
on.
the
This is
appliance.
running on the TTC.
Just now we created a shell, or just now we
Mm-hmm,
created a
mm-hmm.
VM over our on-prem data center. Over there, we
Okay.
created one node, and we
Okay.
use the appliance VM for spin up the machine.
Okay.
Normally,
Okay.
either we can use the Windows operating system or a Linux operating system in your laptop,
Correct.
or
Correct.
maybe someone using the Mac operating system in the laptop. It's uh,
Mm-hmm.
it's uh, uh, in our scenario, we are
Mm-hmm.
using the appliance image which is provided by the GCP
Yeah.
for this M4C VM.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. Here, this is the IP address of this
Mm-hmm.
machine. We
Yes.
have to copy this IP address and then need to connect that particular VM via PuTTY.
Okay.
Okay. If you are using the Windows, then you have to use the PuTTY. If you are using the Linux, then you have to open a shell and then fire the command SSH.
Yeah.
First of all, I will use the SSH auth key, which I copied in the previous step.
Okay.
Sorry. What is the VM name address? Yeah. So the default user which we have to use it, which was admin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At the rate, you have to supply the IP address
Mm-hmm.
and then hit the key. What happened? Sorry.
Uh,
There is some issue. Basically, on the laptop side, I'm using the Norwegian keyboard,
okay.
and over there, we have to use a different key for supplying the at the rate. That's why
Okay.
having some issue. Click over the SSH in the node and need to supply your key file.
Yeah.
Accept.
Next.
Now you connected over there.
Okay.
Let me increase the font size. Is it visible or
Yes, yes,
is
yes. It's perfectly visible. Yes.
okay? This is appliance, and we have a few. Basically, we have a one common command available, which is M4C.
Okay.
Let me increase the font size once. Either we can use it. It's okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. We have to use the M4C command for checking the status. M4C
Yeah.
and then status.
Status. Yeah.
It's showing that
Register.
API is reachable.
Yeah.
Now we have to register it with our GCP account. From
Okay.
the GCP account will be the target account uh,
Mm-hmm.
on which we have to migrate, or we can say that we have to lift and shift our VM to GCP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
For registering it, we have a command M4C register.
Yeah.
Here it's asking for a vCenter host address.
Host address.
Right now I am in vCenter environment in my
Yes.
on-prem data center. That's why
Yeah.
either I can supply the IP address, or
Mm-hmm.
if I am using the DNS facility in my environment, then I can supply uh, the URL name.
The URL. Okay.
Okay. Here you can see that my IP address is 172.16.10.2. I will
Yes.
supply this IP address over there. Okay. Now it's asking for vCenter account name on
Yeah.
which having the admin level of access.
Okay.
Okay.
And,
So that it can perform
the
the
registration
discovery
for
related
this.
things. Yeah.
Okay.
Now it's asking for the password of this account.
Okay.
Let me supply it. What happened? It's showing the invalid credentials. Yeah, let's authenticate. Uh, After supplying the credentials,
Yes.
it prompted for one URL. We have to copy
Yes.
that particular link and paste it
Okay.
over the browser. After that, I have to choose my
Okay.
GCP account name,
Mm-hmm.
and then allow it. It will created one key, and I have to
Okay.
supply that particular key over the CLI.
Okay. So
With the
it
help
is
of
basically
this method,
authenticating.
yeah, with the help of this method,
Hmm.
migrate for compute VM will
Hmm.
authenticate to my GCP account.
Okay.
Okay, here it shows all the projects which is available over my project list. Okay,
Okay.
now let's move towards this, and I will use Migrate for Compute Engine project for performing the activity, and the project
Hmm.
ID is this. I have to choose
Like
this project ID.
something. Yeah.
Let me do that. This is the first one.
First one. Yeah.
I have to supply the one and then hit the enter key. Okay. Now it's asking for supply the region information. In which
Hmm.
region I will perform this activity, or I will create the VM. In which data center
Okay.
I have to create the VM.
Okay. So this is the destination.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
the uh, data center path which available under my project list.
Okay.
I will choose the US West one. You can type directly your region name over there.
Okay.
Now I have to supply the source name. In
Hmm.
our practical, the source will be our on-prem data center, and the destination will be our GCP GCP. Okay,
Okay.
but here I have to supply any reference name. I don't need to supply the information related to the VM or the VM name or the DC name. Here I
Hmm.
have to supply some information name or a reference name which will prompt over the GCP account, and I can choose that particular name to access the information related to vCenter. I can
Okay.
supply anything over there. It's just
Okay.
for the reference. Uh, which name I want to assign to this source activity or this migration activity. I
Okay.
have to assign the name. Anything I can do that.
Okay.
Okay, so give me a second. I will supply migrate for compute hyphen.
Training. Okay.
It will create it. Now let me choose my API compute and then migrate for compute engine.
Yeah.
Here you can see that the source information, I supply the information over there.
Yes.
Yeah, it created the name
M4.
migrate for
Yeah.
training, migrate for
Yeah.
compute training. Okay,
Yes.
right now the VMs are not showing over there.
Yes.
In the background, it will perform the activity or it's doing their task. Once everything completed, then I'm able to see all the VMs which available over the on-prem data center. I'm able to see all these VMs over there, over here.
Okay.
Here I'm using the migrate for compute VM, which I
Yeah.
created for performing this activity, this VM
Hmm.
is a part of this vSphere. Okay.
Yeah.
And as a part of this vSphere, this machine also visible over there.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see what happens.
So this is all getting visible only because we have installed the Migrate for Compute on the DC itself. So it is going to pick up all the instances that are there and show it on this Migrate for Compute. Yeah.
Before supplying the GCP account information, we supply the admin
Yes.
credential over there.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, that particular admin credential have a permission for fetching all the information over the vServers. Sorry,
Okay.
our DC, which we
DC. Yeah.
choose. Yeah. And with the help of those credentials, it
Hmm.
will use the CLI in the
Hmm.
background to perform the activity, to fetch
Okay.
all the VMs information for performing the copy the data from on-prem to GCP. It will use all the CLI method in the background.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I have to choose the service account. This service
Okay.
account is automatically created by the Migrate for Compute Engine API. I
Okay.
will use this service account, it having the required permission.
Okay. And what about the first one, new? Is that also populated by Google?
New
Like automatically
is
created?
for creating the new account.
Ah, okay, okay. So if we want to custom it,
Yeah.
okay,
Or you can create a service account first, and before performing this activity, and you can choose that particular created service account information here. It will show
okay,
you your created service accounts, and then you have to pick your customer if
okay,
required. And service account having the permissions to perform the activity. Normally, over the GCP or over the any cloud, we are using the service account for supplying any type of permissions.
okay,
We have to bind that particular service account to the API or to the resources or to the users. And whatever
okay.
permission having the service account, that particular
Hmm.
permission will inherit to the target one. It may be a
Okay,
resource or it may be a API or it may be a users.
okay. So it is only after migrate connector becomes active, we will be able to see all those VMs on that screen.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
completed. Now we
Okay.
can fire the command status. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a second.
It's reachable and registered now.
Yep. Let me refresh the window.
Mhm. Okay.
You can see that all the VMs are available there.
Yes.
By default, it's showing, yeah, the page is 30, selected to
Okay.
30. I have a total 12 VMs available.
Okay.
Uh, as of now, do you have any doubts?
No. Everything is clear till now.
Okay. Now, I will choose some VMs for doing the migration.
Okay.
We can use two different way for performing the task till further. One is that either we can choose one VM, any one of them,
Yeah.
okay, to migrate the VM one at a time, or we can use bundles of a VM. It's mean group of a VMs to
Yeah.
migrate the VMs from source to destination at a single shot.
Okay. So that would be done using a group,
Yeah,
making a group.
that will be
Okay.
using the groups. Okay, here
Okay.
we have a groups options also
Yes.
available.
Yes.
First of all, I will pick one VM.
Okay.
Let's do that here. First of all, I will pick this Linux VM. Okay,
Okay.
this is the Linux VM IP address, and over there, one web application is running, and I can access it via IP address.
Okay.
And this is
Okay.
the IP address which is reachable inside my data center only, or
Okay.
inside my company only. Okay,
Okay.
that's why it's reachable over my Windows Jump machine.
Okay.
Okay, this is my Windows Jump machine which I accessed, and over there I hit the IP address of the Linux machine, and it's showing that the server by Linux hyphen server, which is the server name of my
Yeah.
Linux machine, and then at the rate IP address of the VM.
Okay.
Okay. Also, I will choose these two Windows VMs, Win1 and Win2. I will
Yeah.
migrate these two Windows VMs in a group, in
Okay.
a single step. Okay. So
Okay.
these two Windows VMs are also a web services running over there. Let's see. Just
Okay.
copy the IP address of the first Windows VM, and it will show the server name at the rate IP address.
Yes.
Let's see the third one. Just copy and hit the IP over the browser.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Right now I am hitting the IP over the browser inside my
Yeah.
company or inside my organization account.
Yeah.
But if I try to hit that particular IP over the open network, I'm
Yeah.
not able to access it. You can see that. I'm not able to reach to that particular IP address because
Okay.
I don't know where is it. It's
Yeah.
not a
So.
public IP
Okay.
address. It's a private IP
Yeah.
address. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not reachable. When I will migrate these VMs from inside my environment to public cloud, then I have an option to assign the public IP address so that this application can be reachable over the globe.
Okay.
Okay, this also we can do that so that
Okay.
the reachability of the application of or the service uh,
Mhm.
to all over the world. Okay, let
Okay,
me,
so
yeah,
I have one question.
yes, yes,
So
please.
when we had when we had created this OVA file in the start, we had supplied the settings like manage the internals, the IPs internally. So is it because of that we are able to see all these virtual machines at this point of time? Is it because of that setting that we had provided it while creating the OVA file in the start? We are able to access these from here.
Yeah,
The Google
we
Cloud is able
we
to.
we supplied our GCP account information, and then it shows some it let me share you again. Where's my putty? Yeah, let me increase the font size.
Yeah.
It was more visible to you. Here, I fire the command m4c register.
Register.
Okay,
Yeah.
it first of all it asks the IP address of my vCenter.
vCenter. Yeah.
Okay, I supplied it. After
Yeah.
that, I supply the username
Yeah.
information, and
Mm-hmm.
this M4C VM use this particular account for
Mm-hmm.
fetching all the information from vCenter server. From vCenter
Okay.
server, it will use this account, and this account
Yeah.
having the full permission to perform any type of action over the vCenter level.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Okay.
M4C machine use this account for fetching all the VM information which is available inside the data center over the vCenter server.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, after
Yes.
that, it will create one link, and
Mm-hmm.
that particular
Mm.
link is
Nice.
used for
Okay.
performing the online activity in your in-house data center.
Yeah.
And after performing the connectivity uh,
Mm-hmm.
with the help of this browser, I can use my GCP account, or here I am integrating my GCP account to my Migrate for Compute Engine VM. After
Yeah.
performing this, I supplied this authentication code. And after
Correct. Yeah.
supplying this authentication code, it shows all the project information which available inside my account. These are
Okay.
the project information which are available inside my account.
Okay.
Okay, and out
Mm.
of these accounts, I choose Migrate for Compute Engine project. And
Yeah.
the project ID for Migrate for Compute Engine is this one, the first one.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I selected here one.
One. Yeah.
Okay, in that, after performing these steps, I can connect with my GCP account to this project only. I cannot
Yes.
perform any activity after selecting one to any another account. Right
Yeah.
now, I connected to my GCP account with Migrate for Compute project only.
Okay.
Okay, after that, it's showing need to choose the region.
Region. Yeah.
And here I use US West one. Okay, after
Yes.
supplying this information, I can perform the activity inside my GCP account to inside my project Migrate for Compute Engine and inside my US West region only.
Okay.
Okay, I cannot perform these tasks to any another region inside my Migrate for Compute Engine project inside my GCP account.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Now, I created one source name.
Yeah.
This is the migration activity name, which
Yes.
I assign this name to my migration activity, and this name will show over my project.
Yeah.
This is my
This
project,
is great.
Migrate for Compute
Yes.
Engine, and this
Yeah.
is the source information. If I am
Yeah.
performing multiple activity inside my this account, then all the
Yeah.
projects, all the source information will available in this breakdown option. And I have to
Okay.
choose the required one on which I have to perform the
Okay.
actions. Okay,
Yeah.
is it clear?
Yes. Yes,
Now
it
I
is.
am moving to
Mm.
next step.
Okay.
How these VMs are showing over the GCP account. After
Yeah.
performing these information, my migrate for compute VM having the information of my vCenter account. Okay,
Yes.
vCenter admin account, which having the permission to perform any type of activity to power on the VM, power off the VM, for creating the new VM, for deleting the existing VM. This account
Yes.
having the permission, and with the help
Yep.
of that particular admin account, my migrate for compute VM fetch all the information from the data center, vSphere data center, and supply those information to my GCP account, which I
GCP.
choose above.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
why these informations are available there.
Okay.
Is it clear? Now, do you
Yes.
have
Yes,
any
it is.
question?
No, no, no. It pretty much explains everything. Thank you. Yeah.
Now I will use my GCP dashboard for performing the remaining activity.
Okay.
Okay. Here, first of all, I have to choose the source and then
Yes.
click over the required source information name.
Yeah.
As I told you that, first of all, we will try to migrate the individual VM in which
Yes.
I will choose the Linux server.
Okay.
Okay. And then I will add this to add migrations.
Okay.
Okay. It's showing to please confirm to add a migration to selected VM. Okay.
Yeah.
Now this machine will add it to migration process.
Yeah.
All the steps will be performed over the GCP dashboard. After that, I have to choose the migrations option. Okay.
Okay.
Here I have a Linux server information available.
Yes.
After that, I have to choose the migration. Uh, Give me a second. First of all, I have to click over the
Select.
Linux server
Yeah.
and then I have to choose the migrations drop
Migration.
down option.
Yes.
And here it's showing start replication. If I
Yeah.
click over the start replication, it will copy all the storage information related to this machine to the GCP account.
Okay.
And as I performing this action on the first time, it's showing the first sync. And the first sync will take time depend upon the VM size, how
Yeah.
much storage it consume over the on-prem data center,
Okay.
how much data need to copy from on-prem data center to
So
the
GCP.
host group over the
The host.
GCP. As I told
Okay.
you that it will create
Yeah.
a host project and the target
Yeah.
project. It
Yeah.
will copy all the information to host project.
Yes.
Okay. I have to click over the start replication so that it will copy the data from on-prem to GCP account.
Okay.
Here it will show the percentage.
Okay.
And another thing is that the time is depend upon your size of the VM and
Mm-hmm.
your bandwidth of your network.
Okay. And also, at present, this Linux server is running in the background, being unaffected with the migration. We are just performing this, and it's running normally at the background.
Yes,
So,
yes.
like
There will
till
be,
now, there is no downtime.
as of now, there is no downtime. Also,
Okay.
there will be no performance related issues
Okay.
because it copy the data from storage side of the VM, storage side of the vCenter to GCP.
Okay. So basically, it's copying an image of it from the OS side.
We
Is
can
it?
say that.
Okay. Yeah.
It will not perform any action over the Linux server.
Okay.
It's just performing the copy of the data from vCenter to GCP account.
Okay. And meanwhile, if there are any changes that are happening in this particular Linux servers, like because right now the things are getting copied, but meanwhile, if there are any changes, will those get recorded as well?
No,
No. Okay.
because at the time when we click over the start replication, it will capture the timestamp of the data and
Okay.
copy the data from that particular time.
Okay.
Sorry, copy the data till that particular time.
Till that particular time.
When I clicked over the starter application.
Okay. So, till this time, so we like in case we are performing the migration at this point of time, we will have to tell the application owners or the stakeholders who are the server owners to stop making changes on the virtual machine that is being migrated, since we would be performing the migration from this point on.
It's
If I'm
totally
correct.
depend upon the workload, which type of
Okay.
workload running over there, and what is the behavior of that particular machine. Is it the database, or is it a application server, or is it a
Mm-hmm.
tier 2, tier 3 application, or a single tier application? It's totally
Okay.
depend upon the projects or the environment. We have to discuss with the application teams,
Yeah.
and then we have to make a strategy, and then we have to perform the activity.
Okay.
There is
So,
a so many steps before performing this migration.
correct.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
would we have a chance to do the second or third sync after performing this? Would we have an
no,
option
there
to
will
do
be
that?
only two things. One is a first
Okay.
sync. In the first sync, it will copy
Mm-hmm.
all the VM data to the GCP,
Okay.
and
Mm-hmm.
then we have to perform the cutover.
Okay.
In cutover, it will shut down the VM and copy the remaining data to the GCP, and then power on the VM over the GCP side.
Great. This explains everything. Got it.
Meanwhile, we will try to create a group of two Windows VM.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
taking time.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, we have to click over the both VMs, or if
Yeah.
you need to perform the activity for
Mhm.
a bunch of VMs, need to select all the VMs which
Okay.
want to migrate in a group,
Okay.
and then create add to group.
Okay.
Here you have to supply the group name. What will be the group name for these VMs?
Okay. Okay.
And then create that particular group.
Okay.
Here it's showing the status.
Okay.
Yeah, two VMs added to groups.
Yeah.
Now above side, previously we click
Yeah.
over the migrations. Now we
Migration.
created the group so that we
Yes.
have to click over the groups.
Yeah.
And there we have our main servers. We have to choose all
Okay.
the VMs and perform the
Yes.
same action. Drop down option of the migration and then
Migration.
start
Start
application.
application. Yeah.
Again, it will take time.
Okay.
Let's see what happened related to the Linux VM.
Yes.
In the group,
Okay.
show the status only to the groups. In the migration section,
Yeah.
it will show the status of all the nodes. And here you can see
Okay.
that migration group name. These two machines fall under this group name. Okay, and this is the
Yes.
individual VM so that there is no group name. And another thing is
Okay.
that if you are using multiple groups, then you have to
Yeah.
see all the information here. And in this tab, you can check what is your migration group name.
Okay. And we can even filter the options around here if we want to see anything specific. So we can apply a filter and
Yeah,
just have a view of that. Yeah.
yes, right. It's done. Yeah.
Okay.
Flushing has been completed for all the VMs. After completing the first
Okay.
sync, we have to create a report.
Mm-hmm.
Let me show
Okay.
you the information related to the reports. First of all, need to click over the source and then choose all the
Mm-hmm.
VMs which need to migrate from on-prem to GCP.
Okay.
Do that. Choose all the VMs and then
Mm-hmm.
click over the create
Create
report.
report. Okay.
And here you have to uh, supply the report name.
Okay.
It can be anything because it's just related to your reference.
Okay.
It's a utilization report, and we can
Okay.
choose the time period monthly, weekly, or yearly. It will fetch
Okay.
all the information related to those VMs and show you in a very pretty format. Let me show you. Create.
Okay.
It's in creating report. And now you have to click over the view reports.
View reports. Yeah.
This is the name which I supplied at the time of creating the report.
Mm-hmm.
Here you can see that the status is succeed for
Succeeded.
creating the
Yeah.
report.
Okay.
It's created right now, and total VMs in this report is 3, and the time
3.
period is monthly, which I choose at the time of creating the reports. Here you can
Okay.
see that allocated CPUs for these VMs are
Yes.
this:
1,
one
2, 2.
CPU for Linux and two CPUs for Windows.
Windows.
But the main thing is that the total utilization of that particular CPUs is only 2% or 1%
Yeah.
in VM environment, and the total memory utilization is over the Windows it's approx 2 or 3%, and over the Linux it's approx 27, or we can say that the 30%.
Yeah.
Here we can decide how many CPUs, memories, or which type of machine is required over the GCP side. We can analyze
Mm-hmm.
these reports, and if there is the average utilization of the CPU memory, or we can say that the average utilization of the resources is
Mm-hmm.
very low. In that case, we can decrease the resource requirement over the GCP side.
Okay.
Okay, it will help you to save the money over the cloud.
Okay. Yes.
Otherwise, normally in production environment, related to the infra, we set the threshold related to the 80% or somewhere else 85%. Or for the
Mm-hmm.
non-production environment, sometime it's vary in between 90 to 95% also.
Okay.
Okay, but here in this environment, only 2% CPU is used and the maximum memory is only 30% used.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
In that case, we can decrease these resources and it will help us for saving the money over the cloud. And we can
Mm-hmm.
showcase this information to the customer.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, may I continue?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
We can showcase this information to the customer and we can
Yes.
tell that these n number of amount will save if we migrate the infra from here to cloud, from on-prem to cloud.
Okay. And we can export this report to a form to some other format, or we can export this file.
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
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 And here we can choose how many columns or which type of information need to show there.
Okay.
After doing these types of discussions with customer, we have to migrate the VM from on-prem to DC. For doing that, we have to
Okay.
choose the migration tab.
Okay.
Okay. Suppose the first time you are doing the migration and you don't know
Yes.
your application will work over there or not.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there will be some issue. Maybe the cloud platform is not supported by your application, or
Okay.
maybe you performs you did or someone did some human error in between performing this activity. And
Yes.
when you do the final cutover, after performing the
Mm-hmm.
final cutover, maybe some chances that your application will not work over there. In these
Okay.
types of scenario, GCP will give you one more option
Mm-hmm.
for creating a test clone. Here you can see that you have two options available, cutover and test clone.
Okay.
The test clone is just for creating a test environment from your migrated infra over the
Okay.
GCP, and you can
Mm-hmm.
check your application that will it be work over there or not related to
Okay.
the last migrated data.
Okay.
You perform the first sync, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
can use that particular data for creating the test clone over the GCP, and you can
Mm-hmm.
check that will it be application will work over there or not? Will it be there any
Okay.
issue or not? How you will fix those types of issue? You can create some test environment over there.
Okay.
And if you find out that everything seems fine over the cloud, then you
Mm-hmm.
can perform the final cutover.
Okay. So,
Uh, yeah,
basically, this is to hand over the environment to for testing, and the application or owner or the server owner can then check if they're able to perform all their activities smoothly. Then we
yes,
can
yes,
go
yes.
ahead with the migration.
We can
Okay.
do that if these types of things require. We can do
Okay.
that. And here we have a two types of group. One is the Windows Server, and Windows
Yes.
Server fall under the Win Server migration group, and another one is
Correct.
Linux machine.
Yes.
Okay. First of all, I will try to create a test clone over the Linux machine because this is a single VM.
Yeah.
Okay, and we will find out that the application which running in our in-house data center or a on-prem environment, will
Mm-hmm.
it work over the cloud side or not? Okay,
Okay.
if there is some issue happen or
Mm-hmm.
if any requirements come to do some changes over there, in that
Mm-hmm.
case, which type of changes we have to perform over there? We will do these types of
Mm-hmm.
activity related to the Linux server, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, let me do these types of things first. First of all,
Okay.
this is the info panel, the last tab.
Okay. Yeah.
We have to click over there related to the Linux server. Okay,
Okay.
this is showing the Linux server.
Yeah.
Click over the migration detail name. I'm
Okay.
creating the Linux server clone.
Yeah.
I'm creating the cloning now, right now.
Yes. Yes. Correct.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm supplying the name.
Linux server clone. Okay.
Okay, and this VM will created over the GCP environment. Here,
Okay.
I am choosing my product project,
Migrate for computer engine.
and
Yeah.
I will choose this migrate for compute engine. I will choose. Previously, I supplied the US West one. In US West one, I have a three
Yes.
regions available under this join. I will choose US
Yes.
West
Mm-hmm.
1B, the first. region. Okay, what
Okay.
will be my machine type? Previously, we created some reports, and on the basis of
Yep.
report, we did some analysis and we did some mirroring with the customers. After that, I
Mm-hmm.
will choose the machine types over
Yes.
there. Okay. Uh, right now, I am choosing E2, E2 medium
Okay.
machine. Okay. Let's see where is it, E2
Okay.
medium. Here it is, E2 medium.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
this machine, this is the resource which I will
Mm-hmm.
use for creating the VM over the GCP. We can
Okay.
customize the VM resources as well as we
Okay.
can customize the Linux server name also over the cloud side. And
Okay.
whatever the things running in-house, the server, in-house data center server, that particular application will work over this machine. Okay.
Okay.
Whatever the things running over the Linux server in our on-prem environment, all the things will work over the Linux server clone VM, which I will create it over the GCP environment.
Okay. So I have one question.
Yeah,
So like at present, what we did was like we had there was this first sync where all the data that was replicated till that particular timestamp was recorded for this new instance that we have created. And now when we are creating a clone, it is the same machine. It is going to be the same machine that had picked up the replication, if I'm
yeah,
correct.
yes, right.
Okay, okay,
I'll choose the network. Right now, I have
okay,
a default network available. I will choose the default things.
okay,
Okay, it's vary on the basis of project to project.
okay,
I'll choose external IP also. Okay,
okay.
so that the application which is running over the application which will running over the cloud, that particular
Yeah,
application can accessible over the globe.
okay.
Previously, it was accessible only inside my organization, but right
Within
now
the network, yeah.
within the network. But right now, I will create a VM which is
Hmm.
available over the public cloud, and that particular application will accessible over the cloud.
Okay,
Okay. Save. I save the
hmm,
information related to the VM only.
okay,
As of now, I have not created any VM. Let's
yeah,
see how many VMs are available inside my project.
okay.
Need to select the compute engine and then VM instances.
VM instances, yeah.
As of now, I don't have any VM available. Okay.
Okay,
Now I will create a test clone. I will not perform the
okay.
cutover.
Uh-huh.
Here you can see that the VMs are running the Linux VM. Where is it? Here it
Yes,
is. Okay, this VM
yes,
is running.
yes.
And here I have a two options available, test clone
Test
or
clone or
cutover.
cutover.
I will
Yeah,
create a test clone.
yeah.
It's showing the job started. It will
Mm-hmm.
create a VM over the cloud, and that
Okay,
particular VM cannot uh, cannot perform any action related to this Linux server.
okay,
Okay, it will not interrupt any services which running over there,
okay.
but it will create some clone application over the GCP, and you can use that. Will it work fine or not?
So will it assign a different IP for this?
Yeah, Here
Yeah.
you can see that this VM is
Yes.
running inside your organization data center,
Yes. Yes. Correct.
and another VM is running in your public cloud, and there is no
Yes.
connectivity in between them.
Yes. And plus we have selected the ephemeral
Yeah,
there for external usage. So,
yes.
so
If your in-house data center, or we can say
mhm.
that the on-prem data center is connected with your GCP account or GCP data
Uh-huh.
center, in that
Yeah.
case, you can customize your network, you can customize the things which will running over there
Okay.
for testing, for performing the test. It's showing the clone completed just now.
Just now.
I
Yes.
refresh the page and let's say this VM has been created over there.
Yes.
Okay, and my in-house data center VM is also running. There is no issue
Yeah.
happen as of now. But how can I check this? This is the application. I refresh the page. This application is serving the traffic
Yeah.
inside my organization environment. And this is the application which I created over the GCP.
GCP. Yeah.
I am using the HTTP traffic, and here the traffic is blocked. Uh,
Yes.
and this is my external IP.
Mm-hmm.
If I hit that particular IP over the browser, it will not reach to application because I have to allow the traffic. For doing that, I
Okay.
have to perform the edit action over there and need to allow HTTP and HTTPS traffic and then
Okay.
hit over the save. After that, once it's done, and when you refresh your browser page, you can reach
Mm-hmm.
out to your application.
Okay.
You can see that.
Yes. It's yes.
You
Yes.
can use this IP, you can access this IP in your cell phone or in your browser, and you
Okay.
are also able to reach out to this site. Just try to access
Okay.
it.
Yes. Okay. Yes. It's working at my end.
Okay, it's fine. Our testing has been completed. I am able to
Yes.
perform the action over there, over the
Yeah.
GCP site. Okay, now let me back.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can perform the cutover. Okay, in
Yeah.
cutover, what
Okay.
happened? It will shut down the VM in my on-prem data center and then perform the copy, final copy from DC to GCP, and then it will
Okay.
create a new VM over there.
Okay.
And
Okay.
after that, that particular VM will serve the traffic.
Okay. So so is it going to only apply the incremental changes on the VM that from that timestamp, or is it going to take a new one altogether?
No, only incremental.
Only incremental. Okay.
Here, I cannot perform the cutover action right now because if
Okay.
I perform the cutover, then it will use this VM name for creating the instance over the GCP, and this VM is already running over there. It may be some issue. I have a two options
Okay.
available. Either
Okay.
I have to delete the current running VM with the same
Okay.
name, or I can modify the name over there. In my on-prem data center, this VM is running on the name Linux-server. I will choose the
Okay.
same name for creating the machine over the GCP. I saved it.
Okay.
Migration detail updated. If you will not pop up this mess, you will not able to see the pop-up of this message. In that case, you have to re-verify your details. Okay, or
Okay.
maybe some
Okay.
chances that this detail is not updated over there, and you
Okay.
have to find out why it's happened. Maybe some background task is already running in the over the portal, migration portal.
Okay.
Okay. Now I have to do the final cutover. Here in on-prem data center, you can see that I'm able to access the services over the Linux server.
Yes.
Also,
Mm-hmm.
Linux server is up and running. Okay.
Yes.
When I will perform the final cutover, the on-prem
Mm-hmm.
machine will powered off. I'll click over
Okay.
the cutover. Cutover operation will shut down your source VM. Source VM
Source
is
VM.
running inside your on-prem environment. Okay,
Yes.
I perform the action confirm. Cutover job started. Okay, now clicked over the inside DC and the Linux server. Sooner it will powered off.
Okay. So all the dependencies that were there on on-prem are now going to get removed, and this is going to move to cloud altogether.
Sorry, I can you explain
Yeah.
your
Yes.
question, please?
Yeah. Yes, yes. So what I'm saying is that all the dependencies that were there in on the on-prem till
Hmm.
now are going to get removed, and the machine is going to work independently now
In
on the
starting
cloud.
of in starting of the session, I told you that you have to
Hmm.
check which type of workload
Yep.
is running there. Is it a tier
Yes.
1 application, tier 2, tier 3, or which type of uh, application is running over there, which you want to migrate the
Yes.
machine from on-prem to the public cloud? You
Correct.
have to find out all the details first, and then you have to
Okay.
make a plan. If there is any dependency with any another machine
Mm-hmm.
or a specific thing, then you have to fulfill the requirement first.
Yeah.
Suppose this is
So
a
we
tier
have
2
to.
application.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah. Please go on.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose it was a tier 2 application. In that case, the application running over the application server, and application server is dependent upon the database server, and database
Yep.
server is used for storing the things. Okay,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
then you have to migrate both the VMs, app VM as well as the DB VM from
Yeah.
on-prem to GCP, and then you have to power it on both the VMs.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, then only the application will serve the traffic, otherwise it will fail.
Yeah. So my question was like for this particular VM that I'm referring to, the one that we've just migrated Linux server. So the dependency on that particular machine is going to get removed in this step,
You
and
can
it is
see,
going to work independently.
you can see that the Linux
Yeah.
machine is powered off automatically.
Yes.
Okay,
Correct.
and there is no dependency with any another platform.
No.
Everything is available inside the VM, or
Okay.
all the data inside the VM is already copied in first
Okay.
sync. That's why all the dependency is already available over the target side,
Okay.
which is the GCP.
Okay.
It's powered off, and if
Mm-hmm.
I refresh the page related to the Linux server,
Mm-hmm.
it will fail inside my organization. Okay, it will not reachable.
Okay.
And if I access the
Okay.
Windows traffic, I'm able to access it. There is no issue. Okay.
Yes, it's working at my end also.
We have to face only cutover time period downtime window.
Okay. So which would again depend on the incremental or the changes that has been done on the VM, the
Right.
data that needs to be replicated. Okay.
Yes.
So now this machine has been migrated and we have two other left which were part of a group to
Right
be
now
migrated.
it's doing the data copy from your
Okay.
on-prem to host
Right.
project,
Okay.
and then it will create a VM.
What is the maximum number of machines that we can migrate at one go?
It's totally dependent upon the version which you are using, and the
Okay.
information is available over the GCP. You can check the
Okay.
quota limit
Okay.
in documentation.
Okay. And the same goes with groups. We can work on multiple groups and it would be
Yes, yes.
available there. I mean,
Let me pause the video till the time it's completed. Cutover has been completed. Now you can see that the VM
Okay.
is available over the VM instance. Here we have a
Yes.
two VMs available, Linux server and Linux server clone. This is our
Yep.
old VM, and old VM
Yeah.
will be accessible over the this IP dot six,
Okay.
and the new VM will be accessible over uh, the new external IP. And before
Okay.
accessing it, we have to enable the HTTP traffic.
Mm-hmm.
You have to click edit, and
I did.
then we have to allow the HTTP and HTTPS.
Yes.
Where is my external IP? Now select the external IP
Mm-hmm.
and access it over the browser. You can also able to access this in your
Okay.
device.
This is
And
public. Okay.
yeah, here the name is Linux server, and previously the name was Linux server clone.
Yes.
If you want to access it, then you can hit
Yes.
this IP.
254. Yes, it's working.
Okay, perfect. Normally, the test VMs need to be deleted before migrating the actual VMs. But here,
Mm-hmm.
I just want to demonstrate to you. That's why both the VMs are running. And if you
Okay.
see that the Linux server is in power off state, and the IP which was serving the traffic previously, it is not reachable.
Yes.
Okay, if requirements come to access it, we have to access the latest IP only. Okay, now
Okay.
we have to update this information in the DNS, and then the application will start work with the latest details.
Okay.
Right now, I'm able to access this particular external IP in our
Mm-hmm.
organization network also.
Okay.
Uh, the single instance migration has been completed. Let
Yes.
me delete the VM which is not required, the clone one. It will delete. Now we will try to migrate these two VMs,
Yes. The group.
the group one. First of all, we have to select all the VMs which fall under the
Yes.
groups, or
Mm-hmm.
we need to migrate it. Okay, we have
Okay.
to choose the required VMs and then click over the edit migration details.
Okay.
Previously, we choose info panel, and over there we supply the information,
Yes.
and
Yes.
same type of information we can supply in edit migration detail if we have a multiple
Okay.
VMs.
Okay.
Okay, here you can see that the multiple VM selected. That's why we have to supply the VM names
Okay.
individually. Okay, it's showing the Windows Win2. The
Okay.
Win2 machine name need to supply there, and that particular name will reflect over the GCP instance when we do the
Okay.
migration. So
Okay.
Win2 hyphen GCP. We can supply the
Okay.
same. And here win1 hyphen GCP. I will supply this name
Okay.
and
Mm-hmm.
click over the back. This information is updated. Then choose the project regions, zones,
Yes, the same way that we
the
did
same
for
way. Yeah.
the standalone.
The common information, no need to supply differently for all the VMs. And the unique
Okay.
information need to supply individually. It will prompt you.
Okay.
Here the configuration, I will choose the N2 standard. The external IP information and the internal IP information cannot be same. It will be unique.
Okay.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's why I have to choose the information individually for all the VMs.
Okay.
It's done. And now click over save.
Okay.
Again, it will take time till the time I will pause the video.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Previously, I will show you uh,
Mm-hmm.
the VMs available under the on-prem environment will powered off automatically by this M4C VM.
Yes. Win one and win two.
Last 2 months.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Right now, we just fill the information.
Yes.
We
Correct.
have
Yeah.
to click over the cut
Cut
over
over.
and test.
Yeah.
Either we can choose the test clone. We already
Done
checked
that.
it, what happened in the
Yeah.
test. Right now, I'm
Yeah.
performing the cutover directly.
Okay.
Okay.
In case of clone, we will again get an option to create different clones. So it will only ask us to pass on the instance name over there.
Yeah,
And
instance name we already supplied. Whatever
yeah.
instance name is we filled in the form, that
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
particular VM will automatically create it. If you are
Okay.
performing the test clone, the VM will create it, and after performing the test clone, either you have to delete the VMs or you need to update your name.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it may fail.
Okay.
Right now, I'm performing the cutover directly
Okay.
for these two VMs.
So now it's going to power it off.
Yes. Last sync was happened approx 1 hour ago, and the remaining data it will sync and then will create the VM.
Hmm.
Let's see the status of the VMs. First of all, the VMs will power down. Here you can see that the initiated guest OS shut down 5
Yes.
milliseconds and 16 minutes.
Yes.
Both VMs are powered off.
Yes.
And after some time, the final cutover completed, and then the VM will be available over there. Till the time, I will pause the video.
Okay.
Cutover has been completed for the Win servers. Let me
Yes.
see the status in on-prem environment. Both VMs are powered off. Thus, I'm not able to serve the traffic on the old IP.
Yes.
It will be not accessible. Okay.
Yeah.
Now moving towards the VM instances. Here you can see that the both VMs available there with the
Yes.
name Win1 GCP and Win2 GCP.
Yes.
As I told you that I have enabled the HTTP traffic over there, so that I have to do some changes. Let's try to access the external IP for the Win1 machine. I'm able to access it, Win1
Yes.
at that IP address. Also
Yes.
try to access it via in-house network. Previously it was
Yeah.
not accessible. Now try to hit
Yes.
with the external IP over the GCP.
Yes.
I'm able to access the GCP external IP in my corporate network.
Yes.
Now try to access it for Win2.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
it's
accessible.
accessible. And here also. Okay.
Yes.
If you want to try to access it, in that case, you have to hit the same browser IP.
Yeah.
Or if you have any questions, please let me know.
No, I think I'm good with this. I, so now, like that, this has completely migrated to the new GCP environment, and the old machine VM has been shut down.
Yeah,
So the migration is completed.
yes, yes. We can power it off after some time. Normally, it's depend upon the customers or the how critical VMs are these.
Okay.
Also, after some time, uh, we can check the resource utilization for some time periods. After that, we can perform the cost optimization related to these VMs. Will be there any requirement to increase or decrease the resources over there or not?
Okay. Yeah.
I think it will be good. I'm
Okay. Yes.
yeah, I'm
Okay.
going to stop the recording.